Why am I going to cut apart this brand new Daredevil costume? Let me explain. This is a replica of the costume worn by Charlie Cox's Daredevil in Disney Plus's She-Hulk. It's constructed very similarly to a real MCU costume, using screen-printed lycra, creating a vest with sleeves that are directly connected to pants, all with a little tummy window. It's really good, but if you know me, really good isn't good enough. So I'm going to make some modifications. The first thing I want to do is remove all this excess material by the zipper. I also want to remove these ugly, inaccurate shoulder pads. Starting with the shoulder pads, I take my seam ripper and carefully remove all the stitching that connects them to the shirt, being careful not to damage the underlying fabric. Next, in order to tailor the shirt, I turned it inside out and I took a bar of soap so I could mark up this dark fabric. I pinched the excess fabric and I marked on either side where it extended to. At first, I thought I could just remove the zipper down to a certain point and angle it in order to achieve that tailoring. That didn't work, so I had to remove the zipper entirely. Then, I got a brand new extra long zipper and I attached it to one side. Once attached, I just took my sewing scissors and I cut off all the excess material. You can actually see here just how much extra there was. So, I took it back to the sewing machine, sewed the other side of the zipper, and cut that zipper to length. Finally, I sewed the collar over the zipper to act as a zipper stop. And it's done! As you can see, there's a much better fit with it now. Surprisingly, one of the hardest things about this mod was actually getting the collar right. You'd think it'd be really easy, but because this is an elastic material, you have to stretch this binding the entire time you're sewing it, so when it returns back to normal, you don't have any waviness in your collar. Now, I have a lot more mods planned for this costume to make it much more accurate. For one, I'm going to add shoulder pads that are much more accurate to the top to replace the old ones that I took off. I'm going to tighten up the forearms so that I have a much more streamlined appearance. But first, I've chopped off the legs. I got to replace that.